While firewalls do offer advanced security,
Okay.
administrators may still choose to place some
Let's see what I can do.
This reduces the burden on downstream devices.
I'm going to try to do like a reverse lever, but I don't know if this can take it. This is the balance.
Unlike routers, which are normally centrally located in security,
It probably makes sense if I
switches are generally spread all over,
start.
providing connectivity at the edge of the network in every building and floor throughout an organization's physical facilities. From a security perspective, this can be a nightmare, because it's critical to keep those switches locked away where nobody can physically access them without authorization. The reason for this is, if someone gains physical access to your switch, they can take physical control of that portion of the network. Earlier in the course, you learned how virtual LANs, or VLANs, may be used to increase the security of networks by isolating unrelated systems and users from each other. Switch administrators should implement some common practices to ensure the secure implementation of VLANs. First, VLAN pruning is a good practice. You might recall that switches use the technology of VLAN trunking to carry VLANs
I'd work out there.
the network. This allows any switchboard on the network to join any VLAN trunked to that switch. A best practice for network security is to implement the least privilege rule and only trunk VLANs to switches if the VLAN is needed on that switch. This requires a little more work on the part of network administrators, but it also reduces the risk of compromised switch. For example, if you have a VLAN for the sales department, and the sales department is contained entirely within a single building, you should only trunk the sales VLAN within that building, and not into other buildings. Second, malicious users may attempt an attack known as VLAN hopping to switch from their authorized VLAN to one containing resources that they would like to attack. Attackers might do this through a variety of means, but most of these techniques rely upon pretending to be a switch and asking the switch to trunk VLANs from a malicious user's device. Generally speaking, you should configure your switches to deny automatic VLAN trunk negotiation and only trunk VLANs when they're explicitly authorized by a network administrator. Finally, network administrators may wish to implement a technology for security. This protects against attackers disconnecting an authorized device from the wired network and replacing it with a rogue device that may use users or attempt to access secure network.
Overly possible.
Port security works by limiting the MAC addresses that you use on a particular switchboard and requiring administrative intervention to change out the device. Port security works in two modes. In static mode, the administrator manually configures each switchboard with the allowable MAC addresses for that port. This is very time-consuming, but it is the most secure way to implement port security. In dynamic or sticky mode, the administrator enables port security and then tells the switch to memorize the first MAC address that it sees on any given port, and then restrict access to that MAC address. This makes configuration much faster, but it can be risky if you have unused but active switchboards. Following these simple security practices can help the security of your network switching infrastructure immensely. Sometimes attackers try to undermine network users access to the network. Let's take a look at two techniques you can implement to defend your network against availability-based attacks. Many denial of service attacks rely upon flooding devices with traffic until they are overwhelmed. I cover many of these in the Security Plus Threats and Vulnerabilities course. One example of this type of attack is the SYN flood. You may recall that in a SYN flood attack, the attacker creates thousands of partially open TCP connections to a device by sending SYN packets, but never answering the SYN ACK packet to complete the two-way handshake. This is one example of flooding, and there are many similar attacks that attackers fool with. Another example occurs when attackers send large numbers of different MAC addresses to a switch. They overflow the switch's MAC address table and cause it to forget where
full Planche.
and flood traffic out to every switchboard, allowing the attackers easily to sensitive communications. Network devices also have floodguard protection designed to watch for these attacks in progress and limit their effectiveness. Floodguard works by controlling the number of open connections that each source system may have. Standard security controls also protect against these attacks. For example, enabling port security.
Let's try the half Planche.
Now let's turn our attention to a second network availability issue: routing loops. Routing loops occur when there are multiple physical paths between network devices, and the devices mistakenly begin routing broadcast traffic to redundant paths. If this happens, the network quickly fills up with these broadcast messages, and no capacity is left.
So these try.
Is known as a broadcast storm. The solution to routing loops is routing protocols that include loop protection, such as the spanning tree protocol. These protocols allow multiple physical connections between devices, but restrict logical connections to remove the final links that would allow a loop. Broadcast storms can occur in this case, but the network still benefits from the redundant links because, if an outage occurs, the route protocol will use network paths to cut out the dead device and make use of redundant links. Guards and loop prevention helps administrators maintain secure, highly available networks.